Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another Corona related video. Unfortunately, that's the only thing everyone's talking about and thinking, and the whole world has come to a stop as a result. A couple of things I wanted to raise in this video. The first one is about the figures and numbers that we're seeing from around the world. First thing is that China, as we all know, it's no secret, so this isn't a conspiracy theory, they censor everything going in and out of the country, and everything is heavily controlled by the government. So the numbers that we're seeing of the 80,000 odd figure of cases and then 5,000 deaths, it has to be 10 times more, because China does not want to appear to its internal population and to the outside world as a country that caused the spread of this virus, or a country that can't control it. So they will portray the image that will make them look like they're in control. And as a result, I think the rest of the world is a little far behind, because they don't understand the impact of this virus and to the extent that it will spread. But as I said in my previous video, viruses such as this that are contagious, they'll spread across the whole of our population. The other thing about numbers is that the numbers that are being calculated and stored as in the cause of death is counted differently in different countries. So I see all these charts on the internet, people comparing Italy with the UK and Italy with Netherlands and saying we're 2 weeks behind with this and that and the other. There are so many factors that are related to the cause of deaths: the average age of the population, the area where the pandemic started, if there are more elderly people, if there are more sick people, what's the climate like, what's the hygiene like, what's the population density. So there are so many factors that you cannot compare like for like. Going back to the Chinese figure, there was a video online showing that China is sending back 2,000 healthcare workers that they had drafted in from around China to come and help in that province where there was an outbreak, and now they're all going back because everything is under control. Unless someone has found a cure or an antidote or a vaccine for this virus, there is no cure. So you can lock people down, you can confine them to their homes, but as soon as they're released into the normal population, the same thing will happen all over again. So there's no point pretending that everything is under control and everything is fine, because it isn't. At least the UK government is being honest and transparent and saying, yes, we know everyone's going to get it, and some people will have no symptoms, some people will get mildly sick, some will get severely sick, and some will die. So they're being honest, and they're saying that what we want to do is to protect our healthcare system to be able to cope, and therefore they want people to get sick in small batches so they can be managed and we can save lives. Unfortunately, even though our government is very clear and honest and transparent and trying its best, our population, especially in London and big cities, is very blasé about it, which means that this will spread like wildfire because people aren't following the government's advice. Some of the population keeps asking for a lockdown and that they should deploy police and army on the streets, which I think is absolutely stupid, because the police and the army, they're also human beings, and they are not there to police people to stay in and get the viruses and get sick as a result, because other people are not listening and are being stupid. So this is nature's way of doing natural selection, not just genetically and illness-wise, but also stupidity-wise. If you're stupid enough, then perhaps you should get the virus. And as cruel as it sounds, you're not contributing to the world as much as a clever person is. So if you're not listening, then deal with it. The only thing is, these stupid people are going to infect others as they go out and mingle with the population and because I went out to get groceries and there are long queues outside supermarkets of people, and they're just buying everything like crazy. There are people running around in parks and gatherings, and people going to, the young generation going to beaches and partying because it's sunny. Well, I guess I have no sympathy for those people. They deserve what's coming. If we look at our history, again, I keep referring to history because if you don't know history, then you cannot look ahead and plan ahead and don't understand the future. In 1918, when the Spanish flu broke out, it was a similar thing. Many countries hid the fact that we had a virus that was spreading and killing people because they didn't want to appear weak in the World War. And Spain, being neutral, said that there was, well, they basically published the news about the outbreak, and therefore it was called the Spanish flu, even though Spain wasn't the cause of, or the epicenter, or the start of the epidemic. In 1920, the world's population was 1.3 billion, and 13 million people died, 1%. So, looking at the numbers, between 1 and 6% people are dying because of coronavirus, which means out of 7.7 billion people, we should be expecting 75 million people to die at least, or 77 million. It's unfortunate, but that is quite likely, and we need to be all prepared for it, and this could be not a short-term thing. The government is trying to get all these kits so they can test people who have antibodies, and then they can go back to work and start normalizing certain things. But at the same time, there is a chance, it's like any other infection, if you have low immunity, and you could get weak, so you could get a second rebound or recurrence of the same illness. This is all just standard medicine. There's nothing magical or new about this. It's just a different type of virus, and it attacks the lungs just like any other flu viruses, just in a very extreme way. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video because I see so many people just not taking it seriously, and some people are talking about this lockdown of, okay, I'll be in for 14 days. What are you going to do after 14 days? When you go out with the public, if you don't behave, and if you don't take the right precautions, you'll have a second wave of this happening within the population. And that's what happened with the Spanish flu. They thought they had it under control and it came back again. In this time, remember that everything that we do as an individual will be remembered in history, and it will be remembered by the population. So if you're doing good deeds, you will be remembered, and if you're doing bad deeds, you will also be remembered. Especially if you're an ethnic minority. So if you stand out and you look different and you do bad things, people will blame you and use you as a sample to define your ethnicity, your nation, your background. Remember that you're an ambassador. And I'm saying this because I've seen some first-hand good and bad things happening since the coronavirus. So many shops in the UK, the independent small shops, I'm not going to say who runs them because everyone knows. The vast majority of them have put their prices up by tenfold. I saw paracetamol being sold for £10, which is normally 99 pence. And I bought some products which cost £60 that would normally cost £20 from a shop. And people are profiteering from this. If you stand out in the crowd and if you are different, people will remember that more than if you were just an average face in the crowd. So remember, a little bit of money that you might make now will damage the reputation of you as a person, your family, your friends, your background that you're so proud of. And it's one of those most non-PC things to say these days, but someone has to say it because no one talks about it. We just brush everything under the carpet. We never discuss anything, and then things get out of control. So try to be nice to people, because this is a time for humanity to come together rather than exploit each other. And I'm not saying all ethnic minorities are bad. They're just little samples of them who are doing certain things, and because they stand out, we notice that more. On the other hand, those who are doing amazing things, my next door neighbors, they are, well, the husband is white, the wife is black. They're both British, and they are a mixed race couple in the modern times, and they are such lovely, amazing people. They're a little bit older than me, but they have been cooking food and calling and texting me every day to ask if I'm okay, because I live on my own, and if I need any food. And yesterday they brought me a packet of food, even though I don't really need it. But they're lovely people doing amazing things as well. So we should all remember that this is the time to build the humanity that we've lost through capitalism and greed. And I think we keep blaming capitalism when in reality it's the greed that built the capitalism in the first place. Anyhow, I think this video has become far too long, and I'm probably now lecturing, so I will stop. Hope everyone's okay and looking after themselves, their family and their neighbors, and until the next video. Thanks for watching.